and this is Sean with All Quiet on the Western Front. You've been waiting a couple of weeks to talk about this, haven't you?
Yes. So, yeah, okay. So the story, it's about this young German lad that the war's going on, obviously, and he lives in this idyllic German village, which is, just like you would think, just typical, like, German. And anyway, and he's sort of, him and his friends, they're all really, really excited to join up. So they volunteer to join. And then obviously, they end up fighting. They end up with a bit of trench warfare. There's a few battle scenes, and things happen. They lose some people. He goes back home on leave but of course things are not the same. He's like, things are totally different, and he can't wait to get back to join his friends, even though it's horrific and it's horrible. He still wants to. So the war's sort of done something to him. He got his granddad asking him all about, what's going on. He doesn't really want to talk about it. So he goes back, and then there's a lot more fighting, I guess, a lot more stuff in the trenches. They take trenches, they find stuff. So a typical, like most World War One movies, quite anti-war.
So it's World War One.
It's World War One, yeah. So it's trench warfare.
Yeah.
So one of his friends loses a leg. So there's a few scenes in there where, you've got the hospital scenes where there's a lot of injuries, a lot of death, and and then you've got the mud. It's just, and the no man's land just like I don't know, like 1917 or War Horse or any of those. It's what else is? With World War One, it wasn't like big sweeping cavalry charges and massive. It was pretty much a slugfest. They were just
only
like
the first couple of months of the war.
Only the first couple of months, yeah, that's right.
After that, it was they didn't move.
So that's basically the story. It's a World War One movie about the horrors of war, about a young people going into war with rose tinted glasses and thinking, oh, we're going to be heroes. It's going to be great fun and all that. And then obviously, like in most wars, becoming a little bit jaded, PTSD and just, that's it really. It's like a change, it's like a change, isn't it? It's from innocence to just, horror and things that shouldn't be seen and things that shouldn't be done. So so that's basically the story. Okay, feelings on it. I thought it was very well done. Obviously it was dubbed. And there's a scene at the end where they're coming towards, because it's towards the end of the war, and they're coming to the armistice, where you've got like a general on a balcony saying, we've got to do the last charge, but we've got to get as much ground as we can before. And it's just like, and you can see the look on their faces. It's like, why? Do you know what I mean? On the 11th hour of the 11th day, that's when the armistice, and there's like about an hour left. So, we've got to go and get as much ground as we can. And of course, it's obviously what's going to happen, with that. This film, it was pretty good. It was, it wasn't anything really new that I've seen, and obviously, and I think there were a couple of scenes towards the end with, I just mentioned a couple of bits which I thought maybe it was for effect, but I couldn't really see, let's just say flamethrowers, and I know there were flamethrowers, but not like hundreds of them, not like the Empire Strikes Back type of thing. So there were I had a few issues with it towards the end, with like some of the tanks and some of that. It was a bit CGI, but I guess that was just purely to say the horrors, people getting squashed and burnt and what have you. So, but so I would have to say this was a pretty solid war film. I quite enjoyed it. Nothing really new in it from anything before, just another retelling of the horrors of World War One, I think. So so I would give this probably a 3-star. Just
all right.
A pretty standard. So not like amazing or anything like that. It's nothing new, nothing exciting. So you see,
the thing with this is that this is a title that I know. I know the title, All Quiet on the Western Front, but because it's a famous title, but I never knew anything else about it. I never knew whether it was a book or whether it was a film. And then when I found out that, and I think when this film came out, there was a big deal made about this being a German version of the story.
Yes.
So was the original story German?
Yes.
It's I never knew that.
German perspective, and I think it's in translation. I've got a copy around here somewhere. I don't think it's right here, but I have got a copy. I said I've got a bookcase next to me. I'm thinking it's not in this bookcase.
But Yeah, I think it's been made like 2 or 3 times. I think there's
Well, yeah,
been, like
but it's-
about 3 other movies of it. So
I'm pretty sure there was one that did a whole bunch of things at the Oscars, like in maybe the 50s or the 60s or something like
I
that.
think this has been nominated again. I think this particular version has been nominated. I heard on the radio, but yeah, I think it has had an impact.
how many versions are there? I think there was one made in something like 1923, which was actually I think
Well,
that was, yeah.
I wouldn't be
Not
surprised.
long.
I mean, yeah, so it's just one of those things that like the fact that this was made in German and people were making, and I was like, what? Oh, it's actually a German story. I never knew that.
Yeah.
So a bit like I Want to Dance with Somebody and you finding out all this music. I think even the fact that I'm all for cultures reclaiming stories from Hollywood, and if it's a German story that has never actually been filmed in German, then I'm like, yeah, all for that. So good for that. All Quiet on the Western Front 3. And now we go.
1930 was the first version. 1930.
wow.
So that wasn't too long afterwards, really.
Yeah.
So that was
Before the
1930.
entries.
Yeah.
All right. So